That again. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. I'm 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 so grateful. I am so grateful. You guys won first row over there. Rockin'.
Oh, wow, Mark. Thank you for bringing Karen Drucker in. Yes, we are so grateful to be here today and to have this wonderful, blessed day that is here before us. I am Leland Jackson, your platform assistant for today, and welcome everyone here and all of those who are out in our love streaming land. Maybe staying home, avoiding the ice that we had to deal with to come in today. This is April, right? Yeah, okay. Just getting oriented to whatever's out there, right? Oh, so blessings. So we'll start with the daily word. Today's word is prosperity. I am open to divine ideas. Divine ideas are like the seeds of hope planted in my heart. When they are properly nurtured and tended, they produce the manifestations in my life that represent abundance and prosperity to my own mind and soul. I might be surprised at some of the ideas that pop into my mind and might not see how they could possibly come about. Being open to divine ideas involves a large degree of surrender to the source of those ideas within me. My prosperity is not dependent on my limited mortal mind. I make the choice for prosperity, open my mind to divine ideas, and allow them to guide me to the next steps and new possibilities. From John chapter 1, verse 2, 3 John 3. Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health, just as it is well within your soul. So it is our soul that is well. Despite whatever is around us and things, our soul is well. Our soul is prosperous, full of divine ideas, and be open to them. Be surprised. Be surprised. And don't say how it has to happen, because that is the divine that we just may not know exactly. And if you do know exactly, then that's probably not it. Yeah, there will be another surprise that's how it came about. So just remember to be open and know that all is well in your soul. So now it is time for our children to go off to their youth and family ministry. Please meet your teachers at the back, and we will sing them out.
We love you. We bless you. We truly, truly appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you.
And please stand as you are able, and we will have our statement of being. It is there on the screen. Please join me. God is all, both visible and invisible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. And take this time to get the handshake and ask for that hug. Greet those around you. And those watching out on live loving stream, take a moment to stretch, say hello to your friends, and maybe even hug your pet. Get a cup of coffee.
All right, let's do this fun one. Another one by Karen Drecker. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. Ooh, sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. Ooh, I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is, do that again. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. And every day I affirm and pray that I'm blessed with everything I have. And I release my fear, 'cause it's all so clear. I am held, I'm loved, I am safe. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. And now I see what my life can be when I trust in the process and have faith. And now I know when I just let go that I have all I'll ever need. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well, all is well, all is well.
Thank you again, Mark. So I do have a few announcements. Today there will be a YFM teachers meeting at 12:30 to 1 over in the manse. Anyone who is thinking maybe about helping Natalie and her team, please attend. There will be a new members class starting today as well at 12:30. Green room or up here? Reverend, do we know where? We don't yet. Find the Reverend at 12:30. Just informationally, there is a board meeting this Thursday, which kind of means next Sunday there'll be a town hall. at 12:30, because they try to have the town hall meetings follow right after the board meeting so that they can keep us updated on all of the events and things in that way. Now, most excitingly, this coming Saturday is a concert here. Who is it? That's right, Answer the Muse. They are a phenomenal group out of Ithaca. They are spiritually infused with indie rock music. So go to YouTube them and get a delight to see what's there. It is Saturday at 7:30 with a $10 to $20 suggested fee. So, and they're going to be doing some other things as well, and so it's just neat to have them come in and bless our sanctuary. Also, next week is Earth Day. So following the town hall meeting, there will be a kind of cleanup outside and a facilities team meeting as well next week. And my final piece, yep, quack, quack, duck race tickets. So, I know some of you have purchased some already, but what we're really asking is that you take a packet of, these are packets of 20. Maybe you don't want to take 20, take 10. But take them out to your friends and sell them there, because this benefits not only our church, but benefits Interfaith Works. So there's a set down in the bookstore. We'll take your name down so we know that you have a packet. But please do this. The duck race is June 9th. I think the last day to turn them in is the Sunday before that. Yep, so June 2nd, we need to have all the tickets back and the money. Or sooner, yes. Absolutely, yes. It's the duck race to end racism and all isms that really they come out. So it's a phenomenal day down at the lake. All kinds of things going on. There are corporate duck races where they've got the big wooden ducks that the corporates do. They also have third grade classrooms from the area that do, and those ducks go through that race. But this is the little rubber ducky that floats down. That's for what this goes to win $1,000 at Destiny. So, anyways, grab a packet. And one other thing that because the first Sunday, we usually do a couple of things that day, but it was Easter, so we kind of were off kilter a little bit. So one of the things we didn't do was honor our April birthdays. So we will honor our April birthday folks today.
And Dr. Leland is one of them. Happy birthday
those
to you.
stand.
Happy
April birthday
birthday to you.
April birthdays.
Happy birthday, Dr. Leland.
Everybody.
Happy birthday to God is blessing you now. 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 God is blessing you now.
Who was? Jill. Oh, okay. Jill's another one. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I would now like to welcome our guests. Do we have anybody visiting us for the second or third time or who just hasn't been here in a while? Do I see any? Oh, welcome back. Thank you for coming back and joining with us. Please feel free to go down to the bookstore after the service. We'll have another gift for you, and we've done your other times when you're here as well. So join us in fellowship downstairs, please. And do we have anyone who is here for the very first time? No? Okay. Well, welcome back, everyone, and we look forward to seeing all the smiling faces again next Sunday. And now on our screen is our 5 basic principles. This is our foundation of how we work through the whole Unity teachings and how we see it in our lives. So if anybody wants to speak how they have shown up in your life this past week, we'll ask you to raise your hand and we'll have the ushers bring forward a mic. So speak for just a couple of minutes. Yeah, Kosovo, they're coming. Thank you.
Good morning. Actually, it's all 5. God is the source and creator. We're spiritual beings. Life experiences affirmative prayer immensely and living by spiritual principles. One of the things that we did when we were away is we went to Puerto Rico. And while we were there, we stayed in Puerto Rico for several days, and we went to the church that we tithed to, Unity of, help me, Caucus. The Caucus. And we were with Reverend Norma from there. There are 11 Unity churches in Puerto Rico. And Reverend Norma was instrumental in starting most of them. So we got the opportunity to go to her church, which was actually built as a Unity church. And they did sustain some damage, but not as much damage as some of the other churches have sustained. The interesting thing about it is, I have some pictures if people want to see them, but the interesting thing is that they had these 2 wooden front doors, which blew open with the hurricane, and they have chairs, not pews. And the chairs were thrown around, and all kinds of stuff was thrown around. Some things were broken, but directly opposite of those 2 wooden front doors is this beautiful stained glass window. And despite all of the havoc and mayhem that was going on outside and inside in the sanctuary, that window was not touched. So there are, small blessings. Their prayer room, for instance, is not being able to be used because the water came in through the roof, and they've got teen room and things like that. But there were 2 things they said. One is that God is blessing us always, always, always. And the other is that they were grateful that we thought about them, that we tithed to them, and how grateful that we keep everyone in our world community in our prayers and in our minds and in our hearts. Thank you.
Yes. Is there anyone else? Patty or Sibby? We got.
So this last Friday we had our prayer chaplain training. So there are 12 prayer chaplains that are recommitting to be your prayer chaplains in this ministry. And this ministry, Unity, is founded on prayer. And we are so incredibly blessed by the prayer team that we have. And these committed people are holding us in prayer all the time. And this is such a powerful statement of who we are at Unity, that prayer is our foundation, and it is what sustains us. And so we are so grateful at the prayer work that this team does, and those people that have stepped up again to do another year. And so we honor the prayer that has brought forth in this small, we have a very small congregation, and that we have 12 prayer chaplains is amazing. And so we just say that we stand for affirmative prayer, and this is foundational to this ministry. So blessings to everyone.
And what a great segue into the next portion of our service, which is blessing of our prayer intentions. So as Sibby just mentioned, Unity was founded on prayer. At Silent Unity, they've been praying for over 125 years continuously. We do have our prayer chaplains that are here before the service, 10:45 to 10:55, and also then after the service. So please reach out. And it doesn't have to be a prayer of need. It can be prayer of gratitude, because those are important prayers of thank you as well, blessings that have come in your life. So go ahead and let's have our box come forward.
Take a deep breath in, and as we take that deep breath in, we know that we are imbibed with spirit, we are imbibed with energy, we are imbibed with blessings, but most of all, we're imbibed with love. We know that each prayer in this box is just that, a prayer for whatever it is that is on our hearts and on our souls. But we also know that each prayer is answered in its own time and in its own way. And so we say, we are all prayerful people. We pray for our lives. We pray for the lives in our community and in our world community, because we know that as we walk through life in love and peace and healing, we can send that out into the world each and every moment of each and every day. So these prayers that are here, we know that they are answered each and every moment of each and every day. Sometimes not as we expected, but prayer is always answered. So, as prayerful people, we say, Ashe, and we stand in love. Amen.
And now is our meditative part of this service. And some of you may have already joined me in closing your eyes, and if you have not, I invite you to do so. And those who are not comfortable closing their eyes, I simply ask that you focus on one spot in the room. For we know and affirm that there is no spot where God is not. And in this moment, as we relax even more fully in the seat where we're sitting, we let go. We let go of all the fullness of the day. We let go of the thoughts that we're having about what's going to happen in an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 24 hours. We just let it go for a few moments and bring our attention to the now. Imagining just for a moment that we are full of the presence of God. That in this moment we live, we move, we have our beingness in the God presence. For we are immersed in this presence of pure being. Imagining just for a moment that there is this light that is shining brightly. The light that is shining is the light which is you. The light which is in you. The light of God expressing as you. And this light is always there. It can be as bright as we allow it to be when we let go and let God. So in this moment, as we prepare our inner sanctuary for this experience, we continue to let go and let God. We continue to, in our relaxing, to relax, let go. Relax and let go. And in this now moment, we join our hearts. We join our entire full beingness together as one love. Love expressing love. In the silence, we go deeper together and say to ourselves, I am love in action. I am love in action. Together, we go deeper and experience the divine in, through, and as us. I am love in action. I am love in action. And in this expanded state of awareness, we acknowledge this oneness. We acknowledge the love we have. And we acknowledge all of the prayer intentions which have been placed in our prayer box. And if anyone has someone or some situation or circumstance which you have on your heart, bring it to this space that we have created, this most holy space, this most sacred space, the space that is only God and only love. And then we bring our own self to this space as if we're giving ourselves a love hug, placing ourselves in the loving arms of Spirit, the Spirit that is within us, lifting us up, rising us above anything and everything, and being that pure light that is shining as us. And we give thanks. We give thanks for this awareness that we have of the presence of the Most High. We give thanks for all of us who are here. In this moment, we pray, and so it is. And so we let it be us. Amen.
When you see the storm is coming, see the lightning part the sky, it's too late to run. There's terror in your eyes. What you do then is remember this old thing you heard me say. It's the storm, not you, that's bound to blow away. Hold on to someone standing by. Hold on, don't even ask how long or why. Child, hold on to what you know is true. Hold on till you get through. Child, oh child, hold on. When you feel your heart is pounding, feel the devil's at the door. There's no place to hide. You're frozen to the floor. What you do then is to force yourself to wake up, and you'll say, it's this dream, not me, that's bound to go away. Hold on, the night will soon be by. Hold on and think of something else to try. Child, hold on, there's angels on their way. Hold on and hear them say, child, oh child, and it doesn't even matter that the danger and the doom come from up above or down below, or just come flying at you from across the room. When you see a man who's raging, he's jealous and he fears that you've walked behind walls that he's hid behind for years. What you do then is to tell yourself to wait it out and say, it's this day, not me, that's bound to go away. Child, hold on, it's this day, not you, that's bound to go away.
wasn't that amazing? Thank you so, so much, our wonderful music director, Mark Wildman. Good morning. I'm back. My vacation was just amazing. I'm only 3 shades darker, that's all, just a little darker, just a little bit. I'm grateful to be here this morning. Reverend Edith Washington Woods, you're darker, tanned, senior minister. I know, some people don't think black folks can tan. Okay, whatever. We can do that too. It's not intentional or nothing. If I put on tanning lotions, I would be 5 shades darker. I'm just saying. So I'm grateful to be back. Had a lovely vacation, a nice rest. You heard my wife telling you about what we experienced at Unity of the Caucus. It's the caucus. And I don't know what caucus means. But it was amazing to see how spirit shows up, that their church could have been totally gone, that particular one. And that there were some churches who were unity churches of the 11 that some of them have no building, you know. But to know that as we stay prayed up, then we know all things are possible. That's just the way it is. And I know that their insurance companies aren't paying. And that's the unfortunate thing that is happening with all over Puerto Rico. And so they're having to use the monies that they can get as love offerings, and then those who are tithing to them and whatnot to fix a little bit here and a little bit there. So I'm humbled by that experience. And Reverend Norma Iris Rosado was one of my professors in school, and it was just really nice seeing her. You know, I was looking at this book by Eric Butterworth. It's called Discover the Power Within You. It is one of our, I would say it's one of the creme de la creme books of unity, along with Lessons in Truth. And this particular book is the book that pretty much transformed Oprah Winfrey to being the kind of spiritual beingness that she has been. It was recommended to her by Dr. Maya Angelou to read this book. And so I was looking at it, and in regards to what I'm going to be talking about today. And this chapter is called The Law of Non-Resistance. Mr. Butterworth tells this story that I want to share with you. He said there was this woman walking home from a meeting at her church. It was a very late night, and the streets were very dark. Can you imagine that? You got out of church and then you're walking home and it's dark. As she walked past an alleyway, a thief put a gun in her back and said, "Give me your purse or I'll kill you." That's pretty frightening, isn't it? The normal human reaction, Mr. Butterworth says, is to such an experience would be to turn off the light instantly, the light within us, and then to experience fear, anger, bitterness, and outright hatred. All these qualities, he says, are the frustration of our potentiality of the healing and protecting power of love. It was of just such experiences as this when Jesus spoke, when he commanded, "Love thine enemies and pray for those who despitefully use you, that you may be sons of your Father." In other words, love them, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve it and need to keep your love energy flowing. So we keep our love energy flowing by releasing those things that cause us fear. He says, anyway, this frail little woman turned and looked the thief right in his eyes, and she said, "You can't hurt me because you are God's child, and I love you." The man says to her, "Lady, this is a gun, and I mean to kill you if you don't give me your purse." But she simply repeated softly, without any fear, without any evidence of fear or excitement. She said, "But you can't hurt me because you are a God's child and I love you." You know what happened? The man stood for a moment, puzzled, shocked, and disarmed. His hand shook, his face flushed, and he dropped his gun and ran. He dropped his gun and ran. This man was completely overpowered by love and non-resistance. You see, the power of love can transform any fear. It is bigger than the fear. He says a couple of paragraphs in the next paragraph, he says something about the light that shines within us. And we can turn off that light and meet someone in the darkness with darkness. So she could have met him in his dark way of beingness, in the darkness of the night, with a darkness of fear. We can meet resistance with resistance, and then now we're at the level of the thief. So when we shift that at the level of love, love overpowers absolutely everything. You know, there is this light that shines within us. We understand that in unity, and yet there are times when we do have fear, isn't it? Isn't it? We might be afraid right now, afraid of something, afraid of some person, afraid of the government, whatever they do, afraid of what's going to happen. You know, there was this ice storm coming yesterday, and I got an email or text, no, I got a text message from the Delta Sonic where you go get your car washed. He said, because of the impeding, whatever, ice storm, we're closing the car wash at 2 p.m. And I thought, wow, we don't know from 1 minute to the next if Mother Nature is really going to do what they said and predicted her to do. But it's that fear, the fear of the unknown. You know, in our book, this book that we're reading, you know, this one, this lovely one, The Endless Practice, Becoming Who We Were Born to Be, Mark Naples says that facing conflict and fear can keep us in relationship with our experience long enough to uncover what we have in common with every living thing. So imagine, here's this little frail lady. I imagine she's about this tall, and he's about this tall. So couple feet, and he's looking at her, and he's got this gun in her back, you know, and she can feel his presence, that he's a big guy. And she turned around and joined her eyes with his eyes, that which they have in common. And she looked at him with that sense of unconditional love, that same love that we know Jesus, our way shower, showed us, that she looked at him with love in those eyes, that they both have the same pair of eyes. And it transformed that moment. And it was nothing he could do to cause her to be afraid. That we look at what we have in common, and we call forth that which we don't. So perhaps this gentleman didn't know that he is the picture of love. Maybe he had a whole bunch of stuff happening to him in his life. I don't have a clue. But if I'm going to make it up, I would imagine that if someone's going to do that to a little old lady, he must have a lot of pain. That perhaps this man just wanted to experience love and didn't know how to get it. And the universe always rises up to meet us and greet us. And here she was, coming from her church meeting to meet him with the eyes of love. But what about our fears? We have so many things that we're afraid of. Oh, gosh, doggone it. I was mad when I got in my car this morning because I turned the thing on. I had it to, 5 minutes before I got ready to go. And I got in the car, and it's got all this ice on it. And I thought it was 30 degrees, so I get my big, heavy coat, and I go out to the car, and I'm like, man, I didn't need this big, heavy coat. Okay, what should I do? Should I wait and have, and I'm having some fear about, but I want to hurry and get to church, and I need to prepare this, and I need to prepare, and all that. And I thought, you know what, let go. Let go. Go in the house, get your trench coat while the window is clearing, and you'll be fine. This is what I heard Spirit say. So I got out of my car, went back in the house. When I came back out, the window was completely clear. And I have to lug that big heavy coat home tonight when I go home. But what about fear? What about it? We have these kinds of fears, like the fear of terrorism, for instance. We've been getting that whole word called terrorism since 9/11. Terrorists coming. And we go home, we shut the door, bam, don't come in, get out. And then here's somebody else talking about terrorists. You go home, shut the door, get out, don't come in. And we make these homes, sometimes putting bars all around them to keep people out. But are the bars locking us in? Pigeonholing us into a space that we think is secure, but it's just fear. It's just fear. But what about some of these other words in this collage? Fear of our employment. Will we be employed? Will we not? Will our employer like us? Will they not? Will I be able to go to work? What about sickness or dis-ease? So we have a fear of, will I catch this? Will I not catch that? So much that now we have hand sanitizers that come in little containers like this that we can take everywhere we go. I don't know about you. I have one. And I took it with me all the way to the Caribbean, and I forgot, I didn't even use the thing, but I had it. What about the fear of death? I used to be afraid of death. I used to be so afraid of death when I was a kid. I didn't want to go to sleep at night because then in the darkness something might come and get me and then I could die. But death is it's just a form of an ending and then a new beginning. Just like we were born. We weren't afraid to be born. We just came out and said, hi, here I am. Hi. We screamed and hollered and stuff, and they said, oh, look at that cute little baby. Even if our heads was deformed from stuff. Yeah, they'd come out. You know what I'm talking about, Miss Carol. Your head probably was deformed. Well, mine was. I had a big old head, and it was long, and it had lumps on it and stuff. That's why I have to have hair. Because we don't want people to see those things that happened in the birth process. And yet, we come into this world pure. We're the pure beingness. So there is nothing to fear because we are dying daily. We are dying now. We have cells that complete themselves, and then we get some new ones. It's always this whole cycle of life. So what are we afraid of? Well, we can allow ourselves to imagine our greatest fear. Just take a moment, imagine it. Think of something. Something came up. I know something came up right now. And in the bringing it up, we can then release it, and we can be free. So here's some words I have for all of us to consider as our own, and that is, I can allow myself to imagine my greatest fear Once I do, I am free. Can you say that with me, please? I can allow myself to imagine my greatest fear. Once I do, I am free. That's what happened with the little lady. I think she was afraid that something like that would happen to her. And then here she is faced with it. And she faced it with the power of love. You know, love is our spiritual power of this month, and the color is pink. And the disciple is John. And love is right here behind the heart. And I always wondered, well, why did they say the location of love is behind the heart? Well, if it is, then perhaps that essence of love is radiating from the behind the heart through the heart, flowing in our entire body, allowing every cell, every organ, every artery, every vein to feel the experience of love. So we get to look at that all this month. What does love look like? What Tina Turner's song, what does love have to do with it? Everything. What does love have to do with it? Everything. Everything. Yeah. Well, I imagine what it must have looked like for this lady, that she probably had a little fear in her, but she wasn't allowing that fear to be the emotion that was showing. Because we can have fear that shows up for us, but the power of love is so much greater than the fear that the fear is diminished. It's not the thing that we're focusing on. You know, I've heard it said that the more we focus on a thing, the more there will be. So if we're focusing on love and the presence of love within us, then nothing else will have that power that it can have. It's kind of like denials, right? We have affirmations, we have denials. So if I'm denying that I'm afraid, if I'm denying that, you know, I'll have these things that I'm thinking about, whether it's the job, the weather, the government, the world, and focus on how much I love, then I'm able in that moment to be love in full expression. You see, Jack Canfield, who wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul, those books, he said that everything you want is on the other side of fear. We have to walk through it. Because if we walk around the fear, it's not gone, is it? Have you ever tried to walk around something and say, I'm not going to do that, I'm just going to put that over here and I'm deal with it later? It's not gone. So we walk through the fear. We stand fear in its face and say, I love you. We say, I love you. And we allow that love to express boldly within us. You know, in our book here, Mark Nepal's book, hold on just a second. Let me switch books with this. We are not even halfway through this book, and oh my gosh, there's so much great stuff in here. He talks about things that hearten and things that dishearten us. And the things that dishearten us can be very draining, can't it? Well, there's a couple of things he talks about when he's talking about fear in regards to disheartening ways of being. He says, there is the fear of the unknown. Have you ever had that? You know, you're living your life and all that, and something is wanting to emerge and to express in your life, but because we've never done it, we have so much fear that we don't do it. And if we stay stuck in that moment, we just stay stuck in it. And then we're being limited by our fear. He goes on to say, let's see, I want to bring out a couple more things. The fear of rejection. That when we are afraid of being rejected, sometimes we hide. And we don't let our light shine for the fear. And lastly, the fear of death. That the clock will keep beating louder, and it enslaves us to panic and urgency. That we don't want to die. So we keep doing things to try to keep us living, to do things to make us look younger. You know, some people do that. Those nip and tuck type stuff and whatever. Not me. But what he does talk about in response to living past the disheartening ways of being is to live in ways that are heartening, he uses that word, by creating life-affirming positions and intentions that will be counter to the fears. So the few that I want to bring up is, the first one would be to strengthen trust. Because a lot of times we don't trust people because we're afraid that they'll hurt us. And so we can expand our ways of being when we discover how to trust. The next one is to strengthen what is possible. And we can do this by imagining. We can imagine. And our focus is on what might go right, as opposed to what might go wrong. So there's this sense of optimism or pessimism. I'm a very optimistic person. I always strive to look at what can happen as opposed to what can't. I just can't, I don't know. I would be very sad and depressed if I was inside of looking at what could go wrong, because I could make up some stuff that could go wrong, and then it will, because we know that our thoughts are things, and our things create our reality. So if we're going to create a reality, why not create a reality that's on the right side of it? Creating a reality that has our life work, that has our life full of love. Yeah. And the last one is to shrink our habits of hiding. We can do that by listening to experience as our teacher. You know, the things that happen in our life happens for us to live into, to move past. And part of that way that we can do that, he says, is by appreciation. Yeah, appreciating. So when we live a life of appreciating, then we're able to move past that which is not loving. So like we clap, 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 right? It's a form of appreciation when we clap for people. When we hug people, when we give them a handshake, it's acknowledging I am you and you are me. That I am feeling love and I am giving you that so that we can radiate out love to each other. Our Bible verse for today comes from Isaiah chapter 41 and 10, and this is what it says. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand. You see, right hand, not the wrong hand. The right hand is on the side of positivity and affirmations and all of those things that are loving, kind, and generous. When we live from that place, when we know that there is no spot where God is not, when we know that the Spirit of the ever-living God is ever living in us, that we are the hands and feet of God, that we are the mouths of God, the words of God, the thoughts of God, that as individualized expressions of God, when we really know it down inside of our own bone marrows, then we have nothing that we need to fear. But sometimes we forget. And we just need to remind ourselves that love is here and now, and that power of love is bigger than anything and everything. That power of love is that love that is God. Because we can affirm that God is love, right? And love is God. So when we think about the big, vast, infinite power of God that is so big, that is bigger than anything. You know, I want to go get God on a Harley. I know, right? Like, I know God that likes to be on a Harley. And that God likes to and go real fast. And I'm safe when I sit on the back of that bike. That if I need a God, I need a big God. I need a big old God that has on leathers and everything so that if he falls off that bike, he's not hurt at all. Or perhaps she. I want a God with big old boots on. I want a God that will talk to me when I'm sad. I want a God that will walk with me when I'm glad. You see, that God that is love and that love that is God is all there is. How can we love today? How can we lose that fear that we tend to have? Because we all have it, don't we? Don't tell me you never have fear. Don't even say that. I already know. You're afraid if you go out to your car, it's going to have ice all over it. And it's in the middle of April. Okay, I'm just get that off my chest. But fear has two meanings. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. We are called to rise above the fear, to walk through it to the other side, and to be free. That's what we're called to be. So when we have this endless practice of becoming who we were born to be, it's an endless practice of love. It's an endless practice of accepting ourselves so we can accept others. Because I can't accept you if I ain't willing to accept myself. You know what I mean? Huh? Accept me, accept me, accept me, and then I look in the mirror and I go, ugh. You don't have to tell me. I know what we do when we go look in the mirror. We have to look in the mirror and stand there and look in the two eyes that are looking back at us and say, I love you the way you are. That I am a perfect, individualized expression of God. And that's the way it is. That when I am willing to do that, my life is transformed like that little fragile lady. She wasn't fragile. She was power. She was a powerhouse. She was our example. Our affirmation for this week can assist us with rising. Here it goes. I am willing to rise above my fears with love. Nice and simple. I am willing to rise above my fears with love. You say that with me? I'll say it again. Together. I am willing to rise above my fears with love. Are you willing? Are you willing? Yes. Are you willing? Yes. All right, let's say it again. I am willing to rise above my fears with love. When we do that, we are fully expressing God as us. And so it is. And so we let it be us. Amen. And now it's time for our tithes, love offerings, and gifts. And I see all the kitchen people going down there to get that food ready. Y'all better go down there and have some food. It's some goodies down there, I tell you. So we have our love offering blessing here on the screen. But we know that this is another way that we show our love, that is shown in the demonstration of money substance. In the same way that we saw when we went to Unity, the caucus in Puerto Rico. And so let's say our love offering blessing together. Together, please. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. You are my source.
Be the love you are. Be the love you are. Just as Master Jesus taught us. Be the love you are. Everybody sing that with me. Be the love you are. Be the love you are. Just as Master Jesus taught us. Be the love you are. So you're going to take that with you all week long. Be the love you are. Be the love you are. Just as Master Jesus taught us. Be the love you are. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is good to me.
Okay. So, I know you guys are wondering, what does Gandhi have to say today? Here it is. Be the change in which you wish to see in the world. We're changing fear, right? Facing it. Face everything and rise. Okay, Mr. Gandhi, thank you very much. There we go. Okay, I hear you. I hear people and they're rubbing their hands together, so I think I should too. And just so you know, out there in Love Streaming Land, this is a way of us allowing the spirit and vibration of love to flow from our hearts through our hands to bless this money substance. And we pray. Mother, Father, God, we are so grateful. We're so grateful for knowing love is real. We are so grateful for being the demonstration of love, that we experience that unconditional love as we release and let go. As we release, let go, and remember that we are love. For God is love, and we are a child of God, and so we are the love. We allow ourselves to feel this in many, many ways, on many levels, in ourselves, flowing through us, in us, as us, toward this money substance that we are blessing. We are blessing the giver. We are blessing all of those who may not be able to give or give as much as they would like to, because we are giving from our oneness. We are one. We're so grateful for this awareness. And we let it be. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We're walking in the light of God. We are 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 walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God.
Hello, hello. It's on. It's on. It's on. The light wasn't on.
The light wasn't on.
Okay.
Yep. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon.
Hey.
So let's go through our introductions. So when the microphone gets to you nice and strong, but not too loud, say your first name, please.
I'm Zane. Evelyn. Curtis. Sophia. Miss Jill. Sydney.
Todrick. Thomas.
Kirsten.
Byron is here somewhere, too. He's probably with Tavion, Byron. We're working on a map, so they were really into geography right now.
So, okay.
But what the older kids and I did, and Miss Jill, we talked about how our thoughts held in mind, how they can produce of their own kind, and how it's good to have nice, clear thoughts in order to, thoughts of happiness and thoughts of gratitude. Here he comes. Here's Tavion.
Tavion.
Hi, I'm Byron.
Hey.
We did the Given Tree. I think Sophia wanted to say something. Do you?
It looks perfect. Okay.
Me and her, we drew this picture,
Oh.
and the reason that
Put it closer.
I think that I picked this one was because I think it's unique and I really like it. It's about how this one guy, it didn't say the name, but he loved this tree like a lot, and she loved him, and they used to always like play with each other. But then when he grew older, then he just liked this one other girl, and then the tree was lonely. This one is because it shows that it had a lot of love in it.
Oh.
Right in the bowl of the tree. And it's very interesting because love is always there for you.
Oh.
One that what I learned from it is that love is powerful and you should use it in any kind of different ways.
Wow. Love is powerful. Yes.
Love is powerful, and love is always there.
Yes.
That's a
Love is always
good
there.
thing to remember.
Yay.
Short teachers meeting at 12:30 after service, and everybody please hold the teens when we travel to the regional event at the end of the month. There's Todrick, Thomas, Kirsten, myself, Reverend Edith, and Ken Whaling and Tom Andrews. We're going to be representing Unity of Syracuse at the Eastern Region event. So just hold us in prayer and in your minds as well. Thank you for all your support.
So one of my roles as head of the team leads and things is just want to honor teams throughout the year.
We can't hear you.
There we go. Now we're
There
back
we
on.
go.
Okay, so
Okay.
as head of the team leaders and organizing that piece, we want to honor teams throughout the year, and we are honoring our YFM. So we've got the helpers here, but there's others that are out there that help as well throughout the time. So we just love and appreciate you for all that you do for this very special group. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
So if we could say we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, that would be great. Let's say that together. We love you, we bless you, and we truly, truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. We love you, we love you, we love you, really, really, really love you. Mwah! Okay, we did it. Okay, and so let's have our children's blessing and affirmation together. Bless our children wherever they are. We see them surrounded by love and light throughout the week. We have a thriving, expanded youth and family ministry. Yes, we do. And the prayer for protection, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yay! And the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Have a great week, everybody.
Why'd they add all the lights?
Because we couldn't see. Very bright, huh?